everyone, welcome to my first LEGO Star Wars Summer 2021 set review. This is the Bad Batch Attack Shuttle with 969 pieces with the set number of 75314, rated for ages 9 and up. It has the Disney logo at the bottom with the LEGO Star Wars logo at the left. Now, if you look over to the right, you can see the Bad Batch box art, which features Hunter in the center with Wrecker on the left and Tech on the right. Now on the bottom, there's the minifigure listing with Hunter, Wrecker, Tech, Echo, Crosshair, and the Gonk droid, or Gonky. However, Gonky here is using the wrong color pieces, so you can call him Gonky, you can call him a Gonk droid. The back of the box isn't too special, however, it does give you a better shot of the entire set in its entirety, if that makes any sense, with also showing a bit of the interior with the crate that's inside, and then the area of seating, the wingspan to some extent, the spring-loaded shooters, and then over in the corner you can see a little bit of preview for the stud shooters. And who doesn't love a bit of side box art? Top of the box just has Hunter, nothing really crazy about that. Is Hunter. He has a very nice torso and leg print that is, I think, reused, the torso at least, for Wrecker, but that's perfectly fine. No arm printing, but he does have some very nice back printing, which is like a little bit of a backpack. And then his helmet is a very nice design using his face paint over on the helmet, so it's a very nice, although it is the standard clone thing, which means that there's no like side holes for the accessories. It's a very nice looking helmet and torso and legs. He also does get his knives, even though he only uses one in the show. You do get two of them, which is very nice. He also has two face prints and hair. His hair is not the greatest because it does overlap and go over his headband, which makes it really bad, in my opinion at least, because that is really one of his defining factors, is that when he does not use his helmet, he has the headband showing. This is kind of unfortunate, but what are you going to do? The faces, however, are decently good, because they at least do have the headband, and you get his face, like, paint. He has one just standard expression, like kind of a meh face, and then you over here have angrier expression, which is very nice to see that there's at least some kind of differentiation of expressions, or two expressions, if you will, underneath the helmet. So if you do want to take off the helmet, you do have some options there. The next figure in the set is Wrecker. Now, as you can see, Wrecker is a bit bigger because he has one of the new like armor pieces or armaments that you can give him, so that he has like the wider shoulders. You can also see this used in the Dark Trooper that's located in the Imperial Cruiser that also came out this year. But as you can see, the torso and the legs are the same as Hunter, so we won't need to cover those again, but the armor piece does have these wider shoulders, which do contain the 99 and the skull that is located on his sides. And you can also see his helmet, which is the Iron Man helmet piece, except in gunmetal gray, and it also has some very nice detailing. Although it does look a little bit off on the minifig, I think it's good enough. But then you also have his like larger blaster, which I guess with the gun that they chose is alright. It's not the greatest, but it works. Now you can also take off his helmet to get this very nice face print that they have for him. It's very nice and accurate. I think it's one of the best heads that they have for this set in particular. No back head or back face print, but I think this one is just fine, and it's an incredible representation of Wrecker. We have Tech, who uses a different color of light gray for most of his stuff, with a completely new helmet mold and some very nice torso and leg printing. He does also have a backpack with his like tech supplies that he carries around, along with his helmet having that visor. You can't actually bring it down, but you can see that he has one set of face print, which allows him to have glasses, so at least you have something green coming out from the face. And then he also has these two twin guns that he brings with him. Now, if you take off his accessories and you switch over to his hairpiece, you can see that now you can use like a regular expression or a little bit of a confused expression over here, which is without the glasses, since I felt like showing off the other head. And you can see that his hairpiece is much more accurate, is a much more accurate representation of who he is. And then you can also see that the back print is more like a standard, like clone or Imperial Trooper, but it does the job just fine, since you probably won't be seeing it anyways, because you'll most likely have the backpack unless you're having him sit down. Next up we have Echo, who has this mechanical arm on the left with some very nice arm printing. No arm printing on the other side, but that's fine. He's got his waistcloth on the bottom with a different torso print than everybody else and different leg print, considering he does have that waistcloth. His helmet is different and unique, with different printing than the rest of them, which is nice to see. And then he's got an electric backpack, a little bit different back print, which is nice to see that he has some kind of uniqueness to him, even though most of the art or printing of him shows him having the gun in his actual robot hand, which is kind of funny because you wouldn't expect him to be able to shoot. If you've seen the show, then you probably know what I'm talking about. But he also has a very nice head print, which you can see uses the mechanical elements of his head, and I think it might be a little bit too lively, his head, because I feel like it's a little bit duller considering all the experimentation that went under him. But nonetheless, I really like this figure. The before last figure here is we have Crosshair with his sniper rifle. He's got an Imperial like outfit on with some Imperial armaments on him. He does still use the clone helmet, but it does have a green visor and it's all black, so it looks more like a mix between a Dark Trooper and a Death Trooper and a Clone Trooper, which I think is very nice. I don't know if you'll ever see him in his Bad Batch attire, but we'll have to wait and see. Underneath, we do not have a black head. Instead, we have his face print with the little crosshair over his eye. And that about does it, because he doesn't have a back print or back face print. He just has that. It's a pretty simple minifigure, but I think they executed it pretty nicely. Now on to the simplest minifigure. This is Gonki, or the Gonk droid included in the set. Although the coloration is off, you could still say that this is their attempt at making Gonki. It's pretty standard Gonk droid. He's got the legs, he's got the box shape. I mean, it's for a walking generator, it's a nice build. I mean power bank. Now, the first build in the set is Crosshair's Speeder, which is almost identical to the 501st Legion Speeder, except for a few coloration changes. It still does have the stud shooters. I don't have them here because, honestly, they get a little bit annoying. If you're a collector, if you're a kid or a younger person who likes to play with their Lego sets, then it's a nice inclusion. But they just didn't put on the blasters, which I think is a key point of difference between these speeders, and I think they should have included those. It's not that hard to add the extra blasters over there. I think they're just kind of done with, not done, but they're kind of just not including these extra blasters for no good reason. Because honestly, I felt like it would have been a great inclusion to have these extra blasters there, because it's extra blasters to your collection, because they're throwing in so many stud shooters now that the least they could do is add in a few extra blasters onto the speeder, but I guess not. And comparatively, they're basically identical. You can spot like a few small differences, but other than that, they're like the same thing. Now, Crosshair's Speeder was great. I think it's a great inclusion to get it. Now, this Lime Speeder, although I like the color, I think it's a little bit of an odd build because it's a little bit just kind of flat at the front. You know, I guess that's how they're going with this speeder design, but it's a little not in my taste. Like, you get these like side pieces, which might be the blasters of it. I'm not very sure with this speeder. I think it's great to have it because it's a little bit of different color compared to the dull colors that you normally get in Lego sets, but I think that it's a nice inclusion to get, but I'm just a little baffled by it. After a few minutes of just talking about the set, we can finally get to the highlight for some people of the set. Now, originally, when I saw the sand blue, I was a little scared. Not gonna lie, I was a little terrified that it wouldn't come out looking that great. But I feel that it's a little bit better than it could have been. I was scared of the sand blue, but I feel like once you have it, then you can really decide for yourself, because I feel like the sand blue, in the end, looks alright for it. Like, I feel like the front is the weirdest bit. The rest of it looks really good, but the front, because this print looks a bit weird, I think it's a good print, but I think it just kind of makes the build a little bit different, if you get what I'm saying. Now, the wings themselves are very nice, sleek wings. Like, I mean, sure, on this, top wing, it's a little bit bad because you have the underside of the bricks. But if you're displaying it on, this edge, I think it looks very nice. Like, of course, you can pop it in the flight mode by, lowering the wings a bit. Nothing too bad with the wings. They're very sturdy. You can move them up, you can move them down. They won't really break on you, which I find nice because they use Technic connections with a little bit of fortification of the black over on the backside. Plus, you've got Technic all over the place. You would be able to probably hold this for a bit, but the top opens right up, so you have to hold it a bit by the back of the engines, or just holding it from the bottom. But I think the engines look very nice. You've got these stoppers or protectors, so that you can hide the engines or whatever. You also got the back turret. You've also got that room that you can see, which I think is a nice inclusion, because you can clearly see these back turrets and then the room in the show, so I think that was a nice inclusion. I didn't immediately see it, but that's a nice inclusion. Plus, you've got some lights, and these front turrets look pretty good. And then you've got a sleek design. This might pop open on you a few times if you're in transport. You can move this separately, even though it's not recommended since you won't get the greatest of access. If you want to get into the interior, you're just gotta pop open the entire top. So, the interior itself is very nice. You might have a bit of trouble with these panels, but that's the first time that I've had any issues with that panel, so I don't think they're entirely bad. You've got some very nice stickers, victory sticker or a battle sticker, and then a news sticker with seats for 2 of your Bad Batch members, which is very nice. Then you've got a storage rack over here where you can have a crate so you can hold your weapons in there if you need a place to store them. You also have the cockpit area, which has 2 seats for 2 more of your Bad Batch members. It's going to be very difficult fitting more than 2 people in there, because especially since the back seat you have to put either Hunter or Echo. But at least there's a spot for Gonki. I kind of broke his leg, but you can put Gonki in the back. So if you wanted to know that, you can put Gonki in there. And I think it's a good set. For $100, you get quite a bit of value, especially since the Bad Batch is kind of at its prime, with the finale literally airing not too long ago. So I think this might just become a more desired set. I don't know. But if you're into the Bad Batch, then you'll probably like this set. So I think I'm going to rate it quite highly. But that's just my opinion, even though there are a few flaws, especially since there are the spring-loaded missiles, again, on the backside, which I recommend taking out if you're going to play with this, since you're probably going to hit your hand on them, and it's not going to be a fun time because they're just going to go shooting out randomly. But, it's a good build. It's a good build. What can I say? It was a fun building process, and you get quite a bit of value. But that about concludes it, There's quite a bit here to unpack. You get quite a lot. So, if you're interested in it, pick it up. It's pretty widely available in stores, so you can definitely get it if you want it.